Hello, this is wmpyr. Here I'm in my living room and I'm on the kotatsu. If you guys probably, I don't know, many people probably don't know what that is. So it is a Japanese style table. You see, I got a kitty cat with me right here, and you can see it has this uh, how do you call it? Like a comforter, and it keeps the legs warm. It's a very nice and lazy thing for the winter. But it has this table on top that I could put the laptop on, or work or read, or even play video games or whatever. So anyway, on inside there's a heater actually. So if it's really cold, you can really warm yourself up that way. And the traditional thing to do is to hang out here. You can watch TV and be eating what they call mikan, which is the tangerine, Asian style tangerine. To me, it's just like a smaller orange, but it's very high in vitamin C. And that's part of the culture. So those are the kinds of things that I like about different cultures, the different ways people get by during hard times. And this is, when it's winter and it's cold, this is what Japanese people like to do. So for today, what I want to talk about is, let me first start off with footwork. Okay, so in Filipino martial arts, we have our own footwork, and the way that it's taught is we get a bunch of sticks, put them on the ground. So this could be like 4, 5, 6 sticks, and you put them on the ground and you follow the sticks, and you practice your footwork. Now, the interesting thing about this is this method basically teaches you like a formula, a concept to make as many footworks as you want from their footwork techniques. So technically, there's an infinite amount of different variety of footworks that you can create from that. So the way that I view that is, it's a library. So the Filipinos were very, very smart in making that, because once again, it's like a math formula they're giving you, and they're saying, hey man, you could just follow this and you could make, zigzags, diamond patterns, triangles, all kinds of different footworks from this. Okay, so that's great, and I use it like that. I view it like as like an encyclopedia, a resource to go back to. What I didn't like about it at the time, and this is my youth and my impatience, was I wanted to use stuff for full contact, so it needed to work immediately. Don't give me a concept, give me a technique that I could use right away. That's what I was looking for, was immediate application. And like I said, that was my youth, my impatience. So what I turned to was boxing, and boxing was completely good to me, and I've always felt that it was closely related to Filipino martial arts. So one thing I want to say about the boxing footwork is that boxing footwork is more for medium range and close range, okay? So in Filipino martial arts, we also have a long range, and the long range footwork is different from the boxing type footwork. So the boxing footwork works great for Filipino martial arts in medium range and close range. All right. So whether it's a knife, a baton, a tactical baton, a stick, or even empty hand, if you're medium range or close range, the boxing footwork will help you out big time. Okay. So I feel it's very beneficial for you to study, even if it's for the street, self-defense, or in the battlefield, or of course in sport. So either way, I feel like the boxing footwork will help you out. Once again, for medium range, close range. For long range, our footwork looks more like fencing. We have a very strong influence from European fencing, which is going to be similar to more like in the US back in the day, like Chuck Norris style point fighting, full contact point fighting. You can also say something like American-style kickboxing at the time, before they started meeting the Muay Thai kickboxing. Okay, so the Chuck Norris-style full-contact point fighting and the PKA-style American kickboxing, those are related because one evolved from the kickboxing evolved from the other, from the full contact. So yeah, that's the kind of footwork. Or you could also look at Taekwondo style footwork. Okay, so that's the kind of footwork that's more long range. All right. So anyway, I want to talk about the boxing footwork today. So where should you start? Now, I've dabbled in boxing, savate, Muay Thai kickboxing, American style kickboxing, full contact, karate style, and so a little bit of various types of boxing. So I'm not a professional boxer. I'm not a great boxer. Obviously, nothing, not even close. But I have studied a little bit, is what I'm trying to say. And from there, one of the first things that I recommend to you guys is to practice the back and the forwards. You still stay where you are, but you're going to be on your toes, and you just move back, forward, back, forward. Okay, that's what's important. And yes, that comes from boxing. Now, I didn't learn it when I was training boxing or when I went to a pro gym. They didn't teach that to me, but I've seen people on YouTube teach it. Okay, so just the back, forward, that movement right there. Like I said, you're not taking a step, you're just transferring weight. Very important. So this can also be applied to eskrima, Filipino martial arts, whether it's a knife, the stick, or empty hand. So when you attack, you're leaning forward, and then when you're retreating, you could also do an attack to defensively. So there's a forward, there's a back, and there's actually neutral, central as well. So front, middle, back. There's actually three, okay? So you could practice from all three, where you're actually doing the attack from all three positions, okay? And then you have your angles of attack. So each one of those, all of these movements that you do with the angles of attack, you could do that with front, middle, and back, right? So now the next step is from there, as you get comfortable with that, and you going back and forth like this works your cardio as well. So it's good exercise. You don't need room because you're not moving around. It's just body shifting, okay? So the front and back body shifting, and then from there, now you want to take that step forward, okay? And I've taught this years ago. I kind of stopped doing it because I feel like people misunderstood, or there's an area of misunderstanding, is I don't want you guys to actually step forward and lean like this, okay? Or step back and lean like this. Why? Because you're off balance. So the most important thing is your form, your stance. It needs to have correct body posture. You need to be in balance the whole time. Why? Because if you get attacked or counterattacked, or if you want to do combinations, you want to be in balance. So, and if you are launching a powerful shot, chances are from there, if you don't have a good base, you're going to lose your balance. So it's all about keeping a good, solid structure, your structure. That's very important. So you learn that kind of body mechanics. And one of the things in Filipino martial arts I've been telling you guys is swing big with the sticks, not the knife, but with the sticks, because the stick is much longer. It's going to have momentum, and it will force you. It will teach you to have a better body structure. It'll teach you good body mechanics by swinging huge. If you swing small, like you just make small movements, it won't help your body mechanics. But if you swing big, because the stick is so long, has momentum, and if you put power and you make big motions, you'll go off balance. It'll happen to anybody. So then you have to force yourself to do the form, and you will start to correct yourself naturally, instinctively. And then as you do the forms, and as long as you're swinging and putting in some power, so that's why I always say start with power, then it'll teach you the proper body mechanics. And once again, that's what's important here, is the proper body mechanics. And then from there, in a real life situation, you don't need to go power against this guy, because in a street situation, self-defense, survival is most important, not destroying this guy. So it's not about the power, because maybe you do destroy the guy, you win that fight there, but you'll lose the battle in court. So you want to make sure, this is from Professor Bram Frank, win all the battles, right? And then also, if you destroy a guy here, his buddy might come after you, or the next day they come after you because you did too much. You didn't give him a chance to save face. Now that's something my buddy Mr. Jaime said. You got to give him a chance to save face. Okay, so sometimes that is very important too for the street. You got to give them a way out, So, okay. So it's all about the structure. That's very important. Now, that being said, there are some professional fighters and stuff that will reach like crazy. They are off balance. They are throwing punches from, crazy positions. Adesanya is one of those guys. For K1, you can see Peter Arts. He has a very long reach, and he really puts that in there when he fights. Probably Anderson Silva, which I haven't seen in a while, but I'm sure he was doing stuff like that. Just, basically guys breaking the textbook code, okay? And what I want you guys to understand about that is I did that myself when I was young in college doing full contact. I wanted to be a superstar like those guys, although those guys didn't exist at the time. There were other guys that were amazing. So, Peter Arts was actually there at that time when I was in college. He was fighting. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is I took that route of breaking textbook, okay? Instead of developing textbook solid body mechanics, I wanted to do those crazy moves to throw my opponent off and, try to go superhuman level and win in extraordinary fashion. I tried to do that. And I realized I was a bag of tricks. And when it came down to solid fundamentals, I was lacking. So if I fought a guy that was a solid boxer, I can't keep up with the guy. If I fought a guy that was a solid Muay Thai fighter, not in his league, So I would have to throw axe kicks and, 360 capoeira moves to throw them off and then maybe take them to the ground or something. So I had to fight them in ways that they're not good at. So that's not impressive, because I didn't have the solid skills. So I was a bag of tricks, like I said, with no substance. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is make sure that you don't end up that way and work on the solid body mechanics. Make sure the form is solid. That's why I say to you guys, with the sticks, make sure you put in the power so that you develop the solid form, okay? Now, when you watch these pro fighters, there are guys that fight textbook. And because they fight textbook, everybody else fights textbook, you're going to be average. That makes sense, right? Because everybody's fighting that way. Everybody knows how to do it. Everybody is capable of that at a pro level. So you'll just be average. So then the guys that go above that and shine are the ones that break textbooks, and they're cutting edge. They're doing stuff that you're not supposed to be able to do. They're pulling off, right? So what I want you guys to think about is, to be able to do that, you have two fighting ways. One is the textbook, have the solid fundamentals, and if you are in the zone, or if you are doing very well, then break the barriers. So have another way to fight. Have two different ways to fight, okay? And then if that's not going well, you can revert back to the fundamentals. So how does this apply to self-defense? In self-defense, I hear all the time where people say, well, in a real life situation, you're only going to have gross motor skills and fine motor skills go out the window. Look, my recommendation is, yes, there is definitely some truth to that, but I've also seen some world famous instructor said, don't try to bring me down because of your lack of skill. Like, he's basically saying, I could pull it off in a real life situation. You can't, that's your problem. That's what he was saying. So I also agree with that. Okay, now that sounds kind of arrogant, but what I'm trying to say to you guys is, in a real life situation, man, you got to take opportunities, right? You got to be able to do that. You got to be able to adapt and overcome at any moment, because those windows of opportunities can be very small. So once again, have two ways to fight. One is where you are going to do more crazy stuff, more risky stuff. And if the opportunity's there, you go for it and take it. But if you feel like, no, something's not right, or maybe setting me up, or it's just too risky, then you can fight much more safer. Okay? So I'm saying it doesn't hurt to have both methods. Okay? So that's my advice to you guys. And but in order to do the crazy stuff, you gotta have the solid fundamentals first, because if not, you'll be like what I was back in the college days, which was just a bag of tricks, very empty, just very strong on the outside, weak on the inside kind of thing. I would look like I knew a lot of stuff, but my fundamentals, that's where it was weak. Okay, so anyway, that's it for now. The New Year's is coming, so everybody, happy holidays, happy New Year's. You guys be safe. We're almost done, seems like, with this COVID thing, that we're getting closer and closer. So as more and more people get the vaccine, hopefully the numbers will start to fall, and then things will get better. So if you're not able to go out in public, restaurants or whatever, maybe you could only go once every 3 months or once every 6 months. Now hopefully that'll start to increase, where we could go a little bit more and more as things get better. So, just be patient. We're almost there, and everybody, just do your role. And it's not about, well, I'm fine. No, it's about caring for other people. So even if you're good, wear a mask for other people. And if you don't believe that if you think that this stuff doesn't exist, okay, that's fine. We don't need to argue about that. You don't have to believe in it, but just wear it to help people, so that other people can feel comfortable and safe. That's huge. You're giving them a gift, and saying, hey, I'm going to wear this mask. I don't believe in it, but I'm going to wear it just so you guys feel good, and that's a nice thing to do. So anyway, that's it for now. I don't want to get political or anything. So take care, folks.